Good morning. How the devil are you doing this fine day? I'm going to hop very quickly over to the chat to say good morning to the team at Kinsoffer. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed for being here. How the devil are you all doing this fine day? I'm a bit up in the air, if I'm being completely honest. As you know, I was supposed to be heading for Wales this afternoon to conduct a face-to-face interview. My bag is packed. My car is ready to roll. But my intended interviewee has gone silent on me. I haven't been able to get hold of them for about 48 hours or so, which means they have no idea when I will arrive or where the interview was scheduled to take place. I'm certainly not going to drive 3.5 hours in the vain hope that they will get in touch. So unless I hear from them by about noon today, my Easter holiday is about to start a day or so earlier than expected, which is nice. Now, a couple of points of order before we move on. The latest episode of the Reconstruction podcast covers the subject of the so-called Demolition cartel. The show does contain one glaring error, however. It says that McGee was handed a fine of £16 million when it was actually fined £3.7 million. But in my opinion, they also treat the subject a little more lightheartedly than I think is appropriate. But if you'd like to give it a listen, I'll post a link to it in the chat in just a second. Is any of this actually affecting the companies involved or the demolition industry itself? Apparently not. The companies named are continuing to win work, and I have it on good authority that the next NFDC convention sold out in a matter of a few hours. Anyway, enough of all that. We have another goodie box to give away today. I won't tell you what's in it, but I can tell you that it contains items donated by the likes of Alu, Case, Rockback, and Devilon. For your chance to win that box of delights, ConExpo delights as they are, just type the word box, exactly the same as yesterday. Type the word box into the chat for your chance to win. We will draw a winner at the very end of the show. Now, without further ado, let me roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show underway. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I'm your host, Mark Anthony. It is a Thursday, the 6th of April. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. In today's show, we have an exclusive film featuring the Ant and Dec of the construction equipment world in action on the Kinsoffer stand at ConExpo 2023. We're checking out forestry attachments with Grib. We're reminiscing about the Volvo construction equipment stand at ConExpo. Plus, we're going to revisit the Kobelco stand, an absolutely remarkable stand in the company of Chris Wolf in just a moment as well. We will get to all of that in just a second, but first, let's see who among the rich and the shameless will be celebrating a birthday on this day of days. Happy birthday! And it's many happy returns to Northern Irish politician and firebrand Ian Paisley, to conductor Andre Previn, who's probably best known for his appearance on the Morecambe and Wise show. Happy birthday also to actor Billy D. Williams, magician Paul Daniels, movie director Barry Levinson, and impressionist Rory Bremner, to actor Paul Rudd, Scrubs star Zach Braff, and to singer Mylene Class. Many happy returns to them, one and all. Now, before we get the show started, here's a very quick reminder of our question of the day. Stop this for a second because that's a bit too soon. I am going to play that in just a second, but I had to get it fired up. I won't bore you with the details, but the system here is playing silly buggers. Now, yes, I need to play this first, and then we'll get on to the proper job. Yes, I've taken the banner off the screen so you can see the video that we're about to play in all its glory. In actual fact, I'm not even playing it through the system like we normally would because the footage is really rather good. I've got a 200 megabyte limit on playing through the show, or I can play the thing in its full resolution, which is 1.5 gigabytes, I think. So hopefully this should look pretty spectacular. Now, if you were here yesterday, you'll know that I promised to bring you a new film featuring the dynamic duo of Ed Butler and Steve Williamson. Well, there's no need to keep you waiting. So here is the construction equipment world's answer to Ant and Dec, Morecambe and Wise. Richard and Judy, I don't know, but take it away, fellas.
we're dedicated to Kingsoffer, and they've been absolutely brilliant towards us, and the hospitality they give us is, I would think you would struggle to get that anywhere else with the Tiltrotator brands. They've just been out of this world towards us.
I run an Ox back home. I've had it for two and a half years now. It's been fantastic for my kind of work in utilities and pipelines. The simple design of it with no cylinders has made it a lot more beneficial for my type of work. The worst thing I could do with that unit is probably scratch the paint on it. It's very robust, it's very strong, compact and powerful, and that unit will do no less than any other competitor. I'm quite pleased and proud to represent the Kingsoffer brand, and I will continue investing in the Kingsoffer brand because it's been a very good unit for me.
Bauma was a great success with the whole page and the group, and now that Ed's joined the group as an admin, he's picking it up now, a really big stepping stone for us both, and it's just opened so many doors. I'm dedicated to Kingsoffer. We've got loads of stuff to do here. Just yesterday we had a young lad that was interested in the machine, and he was actually going to university to go and be a dentist.
Yeah.
And he jumped in the machine and we let him start the bricks up, and he just loved it.
I think the conversation on the way home was, Daddy, I don't want to be a dentist anymore, so
I think we've kind of converted him from a dentist to be a machine operator.
Yeah.
That's what we want to try and do, show the young ones that driving machines can be enjoyable, it can be fun, and the thing is, you've got to have a passion on it. You've got to...
Your heart is going to be in the right place. You've got to have a passion for it, like you said, and it's an experience you'll never ever stop learning. You've got to be as bright as your imagination. You're only as limited as your imagination. So you just got to keep going, trying new things, take advice, listen to people and just take it all on board and keep learning.
I've been driving Tiltrotators for 11 years and I still love going into work because every day is different.
Yeah.
There's no job you can't do.
No.
This past 2 years, I've found that you go into sites now and actually site agents and customers are actually seeing the benefits of this Tiltrotator on a day-to-day basis. I'll get phone calls about 20 times a day going, can you come and do this? Can you come and do that?
Yeah.
We've got a 20-ton machine here. Can you come and do this? Because he can't do it. So a 14-ton machine with a Tiltrotator can do the work of 20-ton machines right down to mini diggers. And I think it is going to catch on even in the States. I was speaking to a few people here and they've said, yeah, we've started to sell quite a lot of units in America now. So it's good that it's picking up over here, and it seems to be going well.
Well done, chaps. Well done indeed. I'm going to throw over to the chat very, very quickly. There is our friends at Kingsoffer. Love it already. Thanks so much, guys. Fred, Anthony, I think that's me, Ed and Steve. You are just awesome. I've actually got something written down here, and I'll tell you exactly what it is. Obviously, this is me reading it. Obviously, Ed and Steve put on a great show at ConExpo, which is precisely what we've all come to expect, I think. But I do think we should also tip our hats to the team at Kingsoffer. There's me tipping my hat for spotting the guys in the first place, for bringing them together, and for giving Ed and Steve the freedom to show off the Kingsoffer product range to its very, very best. There's a lot of nonsense spoken about influencer marketing in this business, but turning a would-be dentist into a wannabe excavator operator, that is real influence. We'll be returning to the subject of tilt rotators in just a few moments. But before we do so, I always say good morning to Al Grierson, and I always say this exactly the same thing. Al Grierson, all the way from Luxembourg. He's not in Luxembourg at the moment. He's actually in Barcelona. But good morning, Al, in Barcelona. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Good morning to everybody else that I haven't said. Good morning too. And there is another comment there from Kingsoffer. Thanks. Always a pleasure. The pleasure is ours. But thank you very much indeed for all that you do for Ed and Steve, but also for me and Fred as well. So thank you very much indeed. Now, on with a bit of this. Those that attended this year's ConExpo will recall there was a little corner of the show dedicated to all things quick coupler, tilt rotator, and attachment. If you walk past the Kinshofer stand, which you've just seen on your right, you would have had the steel wrist stand on your left, more of them in a second, and then you would have come to the stand of our new friends at Grib.
Matt Merriam, I'm the Director of Sales for OEM and Bateman and Shearex. We started the company in January of 21 and started manufacturing in August of that year. And it's kind of taken off like a wildfire ever since. The passion that our guys have, they took all the product knowledge they had from the prior company and made all the improvements that they wanted to, that they weren't allowed to in the past. We gave them the opportunity to be flexible and build what they wanted. And the feedback has been extremely well for the mulchers that we have out in the field and the other attachments that Shearex provides. They're built to last. We've taken a lot of technology that they've used in the past and improved. One of the biggest features that we've done is taken the direction of the flow of the material and sent it to the center of the mill instead of sending it out to the outside, which helps save you on wear and tear of bearings. We work closely with the end users and the dealers. We want the feedback. We take that constructive criticism and improving the product. The only way for us to continue to grow is by listening to what the customers have to say. Again, we're a very passionate company, and customer feedback is the most important process for us.
Interestingly, I always think of the Canadians as being a good bunch of people. Grib are Canadian. First company to pay us as a result of our work at ConExpo. So thank you very much indeed to them. I did mention it previously. Both Kinshofer and Grib are rapidly expanding companies that are growing via strategic acquisition. So I wonder what they will both look like when we all get back together in 2026. Or 2025 at Balmer, quite possibly. I'm not sure if Grib are going to make the journey, but we shall see. Now, let's have a look. Steve Williamson has just said, thank you, Kinshofer, for taking myself and Ed around the world. It's a dream come true and many more shows to come. Thanks to Mark and Fred for making us look good. I had nothing to do with it. And to be honest, Fred had very little to do with it. Give us a decent backdrop and just aim a camera in your general direction. And you do look good. But thanks to Julia for looking after us and believing in us. Yeah, Julia is an absolute start. Julia, if you're still in the chat, hats off to you for taking such good care of Ed and Steve, but also for providing my son with a birthday cake while he was in ConExpo at a moment's notice. Thank you very much indeed for all your hospitality. Now, I need to play something else. Let me do this while I come up for air. Now, I am going to throw back very quickly to the comment in the Ed and Steve extravaganza where they were talking about converting a young guy from a wannabe dentist to a would-be excavator operator. And this will go down unquestionably as the comment of the day from our mate Jim Turner. Dentist or plant operator, it's still teeth, digging and filling. Well done, sir. Well done. I'm very impressed with that. Now, I have already mentioned the fine folks at Steel Wrist this morning. So let's wander back along the aisles of the Las Vegas Convention Center to see what they were up to.
My colleague Christian, he started this business here in the US a couple of years ago, actually 6 years ago, and it's grown and he's built a tremendous market share together with the team here. And the time has now come for him to go back to Europe, so we're swapping positions actually. I'm coming over and we have a lot of new development that I'm going to continue.
and that's going to be really exciting. So we're looking at setting up local assembly here in the US for the US market. So that's going to make quite a difference on availability of product and what kind of specifications we can offer in the market. So that's one. We're also going to have, let's say, even wider coverage, nationwide coverage, support coverage and sales coverage. So I think there are going to be significant changes to meet the market demand simply. We believe this is going to be the biggest market for us in the very near future, and probably that will stay for a long time. And that's a golden opportunity to be able to work from this market actually. When we walk around here, we speak with customers, they will tell me that they already have a unit and they're looking for the second one or the third one, which simply didn't happen a number of years ago. So it's been a tremendous growth journey actually, yeah.
Just a small aside. Myself and Fred were given an extremely warm welcome pretty much everywhere we went, but that welcome was by far the warmest on the stands of Kinsoffer, Grib, Steel Wrist and Oil Quick. Don't know why that is, just something about those in the quick coupler and tilt rotator sector, I guess. Now, you can see down the bottom of the screen there, type box into the chat for your chance to win. I'm not going to tell you what's in the box, but I can tell you there's contributions from Case, from Demolition, Rockback, and Alu as well. So if you would like to be in with a shout of winning that, please type the word box into the chat. How many are we up to? As it stands at the moment, you have a 1 in 7 chance of winning. Although that reminder seems to have just triggered a few more. You're now down to a 1 in 9 chance. But please, get your name over in the chat. So type the word box into the chat and we'll be doing the draw a little bit later on. Now, I need to roll one of these, I believe. Our final 2 films of today's show feature a pair of the biggest and best known names in the global construction equipment sector. Very proud to say that we worked with both of them during ConExpo. First up, we're going to look back at the Volvo construction equipment stand, which was unquestionably one of the busiest at the show. And just to prove what a complete circle jerk this entire industry is, if you were watching that very closely, you may have spotted Aaron Witt from BuildWitt, one of the big names over on Instagram and YouTube as well. He was in that video. He's also put out a video, and me and Fred are in that. Just goes round, around. Yes. Let me just have a look. Yeah, we did shoot a handful of films on that stand with Volvo Penta, actually. We'll be bringing those to you in the next couple of days or weeks. We'll also be bringing you an exclusive new film from our final guest on the show today, the mighty Kobelco. I'll tell you more about that right after this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
And so we come to our final film of the day and the final film of the week, as it happens. It's fitting that it should feature those fine folks at Kobelco. The Kobelco stand at ConExpo was a real showstopper. I should know. I stopped there for quite some time. The film you're about to see features Kobelco's Chris Wolf. Now, myself and Fred actually interviewed Chris on an entirely separate subject. We'll be bringing that to you very, very soon. That's an exclusive to us and this channel. I'm going to hand over to Chris on the Kobelco stand in just a second, but this is your last call. Your last call to type the word box into the chat for your chance to be, or for your chance to win today's big prize. The video I'm about to play you is just under 3 minutes long, which means you've got 3 minutes in which to type the word box into the chat to be entered into the prize draw. Now, with that being said, take it away, Chris. Yes, that's the Volvo film. Let's try again.
Ladies and gents, we're still here in ConExpo, loving the great weather and loving this awesome Kobelco stand. Catching up with a legend here, Mr. Chris Wolf. How are you, bud?
Jamie, doing well. How are you?
Thanks for having
Nice
us
to
down
see you
here
in
and making a
Vegas
bit of time. I know, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
So look, number one, how many Aussies are over here loving the show?
It's amazing. I mean, even though I don't sound Australian, I have to tell everybody I live in Sydney. I'm here to translate. But yeah, heaps of Aussies around. It's great. See the turnout, just dealers, customers. It's you can just see a lot of excitement from everybody. But the amount of Aussies here is just incredible.
Perfect. And look, got to congratulate you guys. Huge amount of machines here.
Yeah.
Great display. What's everybody sort of mostly, I guess, gravitating towards in terms of machinery and what's on display?
You mean other than the mechanical bull?
Well, the mechanical bull is always a bit of a highlight. We just got some great shots of that.
Definitely a draw card. Yeah, so they've got the full range on display here that they sell in the United States. Obviously, they're the yellow color, which is a bit different than we see in Australia, where Kobelco blue is well known.
Yep.
But everything from the minis, they've got a new 3.5 ton machine here with a brand new cab on it, which has been really well received. Scrap handling machines are here, as well as the dismantlers. You saw the car dismantled up front, which is a great tool for end-of-life vehicle disposal. We sell that in Australia as well, of course. The new ED160 Blade Runner here.
How cool is this looking?
Very unique machine.
What's some of the standout features on board for this one?
Yeah, so this is basically, it's based on our 14, 15 ton platform. And then it has a dedicated dozer style undercarriage on it.
Cool.
And of course the 6-way dozer blade. So it's a real hybrid machine, sort of two machines in one. You get a 14 ton machine with pretty substantial dozer capabilities as well. Upgraded undercarriage to handle the pushing power and the requirements for a 6-way power angle tilt blade.
Great multifunctional machine.
Yeah,
Australian customers and fans of the Kobelco brand are going to be loving it.
Yeah, it's a jack of all trades machine. Really, sort of one machine for one site, and you can do multiple things with it. So very versatile. Yeah.
Perfect. So look, obviously massive show here, but look, VDT just around the corner back home too.
Yeah, diesel, dirt, and turf. Slightly different scale than ConExpo Vegas, but we're excited about it as well, of course. Yeah, next month. It's coming around pretty quick.
Awesome. Well, look, thanks again so much for sharing some of the wares on display here, and always a pleasure.
It's always good to catch up,
on the latest and greatest.
Yeah.
Excellent. So guys, make sure when you're seeing this, come down and see DDT's happening next month as well. Plenty of great Kobelco machines on board, and you get to have a chat with this legend too.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah, awesome job, Chris. I have to say the Kobelco stand really was one of the standouts at ConExpo 2023. Now, I'm going to throw this up for the final time just to get any stragglers at the end of the show. Let me see. Yes, I'm going to be catching up with the team at Kobelco when I'm in Verona next month as well. So looking forward to that. It is time to find out who has won our prize today. We have 15 entries. So in the time it takes me to fire up the randomizer, you've probably got about 10-15 seconds. If you haven't entered already, then please do so. Type the word box, BOX, into the chat. Now let me fire up the randomizer when I can find it. There we are. Put that on the screen. We have, as I say, 15 entries. Any more for any more? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like we've got everybody on board now. So let's find out who is our winner for today. Ha! It just seems oddly appropriate, doesn't it? Steve Williamson, the star, or the co-star, one of the stars of our let's have a look. Get rid of that. I've screwed this up completely. Yeah, one of the stars of our show today, Steve Williamson, has just won himself a goodie box. Congratulations, Steve. Well deserved. You can consider that part payment for being the star of the show, basically. Modelling fee. Let's call it a modelling fee. Let me have your address, Steve, off air, and I will get that in the post to you, hopefully today. Obviously, we are going into the Easter weekend. There you are. Had a call. Just saw this. Nice one. Yeah, let me have your address, Steve, and I'll get that off to you, hopefully in the next couple of hours. Well done, Steve, says Gary Muirhead, and congrats, Steve, says Al Grissom, who is still watching from Barcelona. You do realise there's better things to do in Barcelona than watch this, Al. I'm just saying. So yes, Steve, let me have your address. We will get your goodie box over to you just as soon as we possibly can, Easter allowing.
Sorry to interrupt the guy with the funny glasses, but if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button as it helps our channel. Or, better still, share this video with a friend or a colleague. Thank you. Right, back to Beardy.
Yeah, it looks like Steve Williamson is a popular winner. Dan Cullen says, well done, Steve. And Steve Guthrie, who was one of our recent winners, also says, congrats, Steve. So, yeah, congratulations, my friend. Right, that pretty much wraps up the main part of this morning's show. We're going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into the chat to see what you're all saying today. If you can't stick around for that, then please stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Have a great Easter. And thanks for watching. But if you do have the time and the inclination, I will see you on the other side of this for the Craic. Change the music up a bit today, I think. No, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want. Buttons are too close together. I do apologise. Good morning, one and all. Let me throw over into the chat and see what is what today. Get the keyboard out of the way because I don't need that anymore. First off the mark. See, I don't know if this has any impact on the competition. I don't suppose for one moment it does. But yet another of our first on the show walked away with the prize. Steve Williams. Good morning, Steve, and congratulations on your win. Just on the subject of giveaways, I wouldn't say we were saving the best till last, although that's how it's played out. We were actually given an ADT model from the fine folks at Liebherr, a TA230 model, and it's been stuck in my suitcase for 3 weeks now, and I've now found it. We're going to give that away next week. We've also got one of the we've got a shear coming. Giveaway from our friend Gaz Evans, Gem Attachments as well. So look out for that next week. We'll do that. We'll do the Gaz Evans one on Tuesday, and we'll probably do the other one, the Liebherr model, which off the top of my head is probably worth about 100 quid, I would have thought. If you fancy a bit of that, if you've got a bookshelf that you'd like to have a dump truck on, you know where to come. Let's have a look through the chat. Yeah, Ken Hatter is with us as well. Morning, Ken. Thank you very much indeed for being here. There is Steve Williamson. I referred to Steve and Ed as Ant and Dec. I need to go back and check the video. Do they actually do the Ant and Dec thing where one always stands on one side and one is on the other side? Need to check that. Guys, if you haven't started doing that, you need to do that so that we can remember. I'm just playing it over in my head. Steve and Ed. It wasn't Ed and Steve. Guys, work it out. Morning all, says Mark Whiting. Morning, Mark. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Our mate Gary Muirhead is here as well. Gary received his Mazzio chocolates. Tell me, Gary, have you eaten them all yet? Or are you saving them for Easter? I'd like to know. Who else have we got here? There is our friends at Kinsoffer. Who was it used to have the TV advert that always ended with nice people to do business with? Can't remember who it was, but maybe Kinsoffer should be stealing that because they are nice people to do business with. Lou Carney is in the house and feeling rather chipper today because she secured her Morrissey tickets. I was a fan of the Smiths, but Morrissey, politically, he and I have gone off in different directions somewhat of late. But enjoy yourself, Lou. I'm sure it will be fantastic. Jim Turner is in the house as well. The other person with whom I normally speak about music. Morning, Jim. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Tony Goddard is in the house. Morning, Tony. Who says morning, Mark, and morning, all. Lots of entries for the competition today. My question of the day, just to remind you very quickly, was who makes the best wheel loader? Well, I thought this one was going to be a slightly more open field. I also thought some people were going to suggest at the top end it was one company and at the other end another company. Transpires that's not necessarily the case. Nick Drew is in the house. Morning, Nick. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Can't be long till you're off to Finland, can it? Must be very soon. If I don't speak to you before, have a fantastic trip. There is Dan Cullen saying good morning to Jim and to Lou. They've done this. Okay, so I misjudged the mood of the room because I saw other comments. Volvo make a nice loading shovel, says Gary Muirhead, but this time I think Caterpillar has to be my answer. Volvo, but I think Caterpillar got that one. Interesting stuff. There's Stephen Guthrie. Morning, Stephen. Steve Williamson says, can't really answer this one as I haven't driven one. They all look good. Hitachi, Volvo and Liebherr. Quite right too. I thought this was going to be a cat win hands down, but it turns out not necessarily. Was this Fred's handiwork? It rather depends. If it was the Ed and Steve show, yes it was. I was stood close by, having nothing to do with it whatsoever. It was me behind the camera actually asking Ed and Steve the question, but basically it was me having a chat with two of my mates. There was no journalism involved whatsoever. Gaz Evans is here, and as I said earlier, Gaz has very kindly donated one of his fine handcrafted shear attachments, which we will be giving away on Tuesday's show next week, so make sure you tune into that. Great video, lads. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And they make it so easy. And I'm not blowing smoke up anyone's rear end because they're just in the nicest possible way. And I know I refer to it as a bromance, but the two of them just have such a chemistry working together. You just turn up, aim a camera in their general direction, and it just, the magic happens. Abdurrahma Bitaf, hello, and hello to you. You get some welcome confetti because we've not seen you on the show before, as far as I can remember. Watching over on Facebook, love to know where in the world you're watching from, and I hope I've pronounced your name correctly. There is Al Grierson, who is currently sunning himself in Barcelona, phone in hand, while his wife and children look on exasperated because he is ignoring the finest city in the whole world to watch this old stuff. And good morning, Al. Thank you very much indeed for being here. Jim Turner in the house as well is our friends at Kinsoffer. If you are in the market for tilt rotators and a whole bunch of attachments, go take a look at Kinsoffer. I realise these things are a personal choice. I realise it's a highly competitive market, but people do business with people, and I can tell you from personal experience, Kinsoffer people are good people. Go give them a shot. Go give them a look. Ed Butler is in the house, the other star of the highlight of the show today, I would say. Good morning to you, Ed, and thank you very much indeed for being here. It looks like I'm not going to be calling by in Swansea. Still no word from my interviewee, my potential podcast victim. So it looks like I'm going to be staying at home. Can't say I'm disappointed. Jim Turner with, as I say, the comment of the day. Dentist or plant operator, still teeth and digging. Yeah, absolutely right. Ken Hatcher says, I've never seen one in Wales. I wonder what that was about. Not entirely sure. Great advice, lads, to the next generation. Dead right it is. On the phone to the missus in most of the shots. The camera never lies, Ed. The camera never lies, I'm afraid. There's a better version of the comment. Dentist or plant op, it's still teeth, digging and filling. Jim Turner. Fine comment, sir. Thank you, Kinsoffer. We've already played that one, but thank you again. Well, thank you from Ed and Steve, but also thank you from me and Fred as well. Going back to our question of the day, who makes the best wheel loader? Mark Whiting puts his hand up and suggests Volvo again. Volvo have been doing remarkably well this week in terms of who makes the best of. Volvo, if you're watching, maybe you should be sponsoring this show. Maybe you should be sponsoring this show. Just saying. Mick Norton's in the house as well, who is currently beating his head against the wall of drug and alcohol abuse with the Construction Leadership Council. I admire your patience, Mick, but thank you very much indeed for being here. Now, any word on my factory tour, Mark? I said that rather too excitedly. Any word on my factory tour, Mark? Well, in a manner of speaking, I did, Gary. I promise you, and I can even send you a screenshot of the response I got. I reached out to my friends at Steel Wrist and told them that we just to recap, just so everyone knows what we're talking about here. My question of the day about a week ago was, what would be your ideal holiday destination? We had lots of entries. I think Jim Turner said New Zealand, loads and loads of entries. But our mate Gary Muirhead said that his ideal holiday, I'm sure his wife would disagree, but his ideal holiday destination was the Steel Wrist factory. Obviously, Gary is a big fan of Steel Wrist, makes no secret of it. So I sent the folks at Steel Wrist a message and said, you know, I've got this mate called Gary Muirhead up in Bonnie, Scotland, and he is a huge fan. He reckons his ideal holiday destination is a trip to your factory. And they came back literally within about an hour. But they, rather than saying, give us his address, the ticket is in the post, they came back and said they were absolutely delighted. The lady, Therese, who actually responded to me, said, I'm only just starting to realise that I actually live somebody else's dream. And that's where it stopped. So, Gary, should you suddenly receive an invitation to the Steel Wrist factory, you can trace it back to me. If you don't, please know that Therese is aware of your existence. She is aware of the fact that you'd love to go there, and that she is currently living your dream. You get the idea. Loads more entries for our goodie box of the day, which ultimately there is the winning entry from Steve Williamson. Another one from his psychic head. Maybe as you two come up here, maybe you could share things about. I'll tell you now, Steve, I know you said yesterday that you were looking for a few more hats for your collection. Do in the box. I've heard Doosan do a tidy wheel loader, but Volvo rule the roost. Can't argue with that. Volvo, Cat, Komatsu, Hitachi, all damn fine machines, but it looks like it's a toss-up between Volvo and Cat, according to the chat today. Loads more entries. There's our friends down at Demolition. Hope you're all fit and well, my friends. There's Stephen Guthrie's entry. There is Gaz Evans' entry as well. Kerry Jones is in the house as well. Kerry entered the competition. Unfortunately, not this time, Kerry. Even our friends at Kinsoffer entered the competition. Not this time to you guys either. Dan Cullen says, great work you and your son are doing, Mr. Anthony. Thank you very much. Keeping me entertained. Enjoy your long weekend. Happy Easter to everyone on the show. Absolutely right. Happy Easter to everybody. One of my posts about Kobelco really took off. I wish I had a referral link to the Kobelco shop if they sell some Blade Runners in the next week. Fantastic stuff. I need to go and have a look at that. Al, I have to say I am a big fan of the Blade Runner. For those of you that don't know, Blade Runner, excavator with a dozer blade. I realise that isn't unusual. But the thing that makes Kobelco's different is that they put a lot more iron into the thing, and I think they also modify. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly sure they actually modify the drivetrain in order to give the thing a lot more push. It is an excavator, but in certain applications, it is a dozer that just happens to have an excavator arm as well. Superb machine. I'm surprised there's not more of them about the place. You did actually see one in the Kobelco film that we played earlier. I will tell you this very quickly. I don't think he's in the house, and I'm sure he wouldn't mind me telling you this. When we were at Bauma, I met up with my mate Peter Stoit, who is the marketing manager for Kobelco Europe. And listen, I don't expect these things. It's always an absolute treat when it happens. But we've been on the Bobcat stand, and we were taken by our mate David Frobel to the Bobcat shop, who basically said, have a look around, let me know what you like, you can have it on Bobcat. So I picked up a new hat, which is on the wall up there somewhere, and I've got a pair of socks, and I've got a pair of sunglasses, which are on that notice board there as well. Fred got, I think he got a t-shirt and a hat or something like that. Anyway, half an hour later, I'm on the Kobelco stand, and my mate Peter walks me down to the Kobelco shop and says, oh, here's our Kobelco shop. Have a nice day, I'll see you later. So, in truth, I was actually going to buy a Kobelco hat, because I've got an old one, but I'd like a new one. I'd like the turquoise one, which I don't have. But there was a huge queue at Belmont, and I never got back to going and buying one. But yeah, it's not all freebies and giveaways, I can assure you. Let's be absolutely honest, most of the freebies I give away anyway. There's our friends at Kinsoffer. Had a call, just saw this nice one. Yes, you are today's winner. Let's have a look. And here comes Ed Butler. Massive thank you to everyone at Kinsoffer, yourself and Fred. It was a great show and amazing opportunity. Dead right as well. Ken Hatcher has got Tuesday off. What will you do with yourself, Ken? I mean, I hope Tuesday off means you'll still be here, because there is going to be another prize to give away. As I said, it's going to be a gem attachments shear model, so make sure you are there for that. Ed Butler believes that the competition was a fix. We get that quite a lot. Who was it the other day that won? I saw somebody commenting on, I think, was it after Ken Hatter had won something? So somebody said, are you bumming Mark Anthony? I can assure you, nobody is doing that. That's why we use a randomizer. There is no favoritism whatsoever. Al Grissom says, at home I'm building a Lego brick model of the Libya ADT with my lad. Well, be sure to be here on Wednesday when we will be giving away a TA230. You might just be able to have the Lego version and the die-cast metal version as well. What is it with Tuesday next week? Nick Drew is off to Finland next Tuesday. So Ken Hatcher is off and Nick Drew is off. Should I suggest the obvious? Together, gents? I'm thinking probably not. Mick Thorpe, question of the day. He goes with the Volvo as well. Lou Carney is saying, let's have, morning Dan, says Lou Carney. You are mental support. Listen, this show is therapy for me. Trust me. Don't spoil them too much with compliments. No, Ed and Steve are a pair of vagabonds. Have nothing to do with them. I can't even say that with a straight face. They're a fantastic pair of fellas. Jim Turner says, Mark, I'm with you. Mark, I'm with you on the opinion of Morris's political worldview. Complete toss-up. But musically, he's brilliant. Yeah. And the same goes for Bono and Bob Geldof too. They should all just stick to music. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from, and I'd probably throw Chris Martin of Coldplay under the same bus as well. What I would say, and this is, I haven't actually purchased a U2 album since the Joshua Tree. I think that would have been my last purchase. Streaming some of their music. But what I would say about our friend Bono is, if you check the history, Bono was basically political campaigner long before he was famous. So I agree. Do I think Bono has become a bit of a bumhole? Yes, I totally do. Do I think you two are no longer relevant? Yes, I do believe that. But credit where it's due. And Bob Geldof is mates with my all-time hero, Midge Ewing, so St. Bob as far as I'm concerned. Let's have a look. Gaz Evans says, hope you can meet up with you guys at Plantworm. We've bitten the bullet and got a stand there. Right, okay, so as Gaz Evans has put his head above the parapet and as he has taken a stand, I would urge everyone here viewing, those of you that are going to Plantworks, I realise the excitement of meeting Lou Carney and myself and Nick Drew and Peter Haddock. I can realise you can barely contain yourself. But if you are going to Plantworks, I insist that you go and meet up with Gaz Evans and go and check out some of his models. Maybe we'll meet up there together. Go and have a look around. Dan Cullen, do you know where I can get a Devlin cap? And that aloe cap looks awesome as well. Unfortunately, Dan, I had 2 Devlin caps. I've already given away one. The second one that I'm giving away just went to Steve Williamson. He's in his box. But let me have a word with the fine folks at Devlin and see if I can scrounge up another one. See what I can do. Yes, so I'm going back to the Blade Runner from Kobelco. Yeah, it's a proper reinforced drivetrain. Thought that was the case, yeah. It sounds like my house, this does. Gary Muirhead says he's had the Maxio chocolate and then he's had one and the kids have taken the rest. That's the way my house works as well. Ken will probably be tracking stalking my flight. Yes, he probably will. I hope everyone has a fantastic and restful Easter weekend, guys. Yeah, and to you as well, Gary. And thanks as always for being here. I mentioned yesterday that the Hillhead website is open for business. Obviously, that show is now, we think, about 14 months away. Rather sooner than that, obviously, we have Plantworks, and Lou Carney has very kindly provided us the link. And she also goes on to say, so it's www.plantworks.co.uk, as it always is. And then the most important bit, register now. It's free. What else do you get for free in this day and age, eh? Not a great deal. And Plantworks is going to be an absolute plant fest, as it always is. Hopefully, having moved the dates back, hopefully it won't be a rain fest as well. We've already done some giveaways, some Plantworks giveaways before I went to ConExpo. Now I've got rid of just about everything that I own, or that I brought back from ConExpo. We're going to restart that. So we've got, what have we got? We've got some hats, we've got some rubber ducks, and we've also got some Plantworks bags as well. So be sure to tune in next week because we're going to restart that. Hopefully get rid of some of that before we then go to Verona and come back with some more stuff. Conveyor belt, people. U2 has a few great tunes on the Troubles in Northern Ireland, as Streets Have No Name, and Sunday Bloody Sunday. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Just trying to remember, there's a U2 song that is a particular favourite of mine. Can't remember the name of it. Very quiet one. Not a big rocky number, but it'll come to me. Ed Butler, Mustache, have a great long weekend. Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah, you too, Ed. Go. Easter Ed. Amuse me, I'm sorry. Right, people, it is going to be a long weekend, as I don't appear to have had any response at all from my pleading emails to my planned interviewee for this afternoon. So it doesn't look like I'm going to Wales after all, which means I can shut the computer down and go and put my feet up. I suggest that you all do the same if you have the opportunity to do so. Steve Williamson, don't forget to let me have your postal address so that I can get the prizes out to you. When can we apply for tickets? I went on the website yesterday, couldn't book any. Are you talking about Hillhead or are you talking about Plantworks, Jim? My guess is you're probably talking about Hillhead, in which case I think you are a bit previous because it is 14 months away. But I'm fairly sure you can register for tickets for Plantworks literally right here, right now. It is only about, off the top of my head, 65 days away. So not long at all. So yes, I hope that answers your question. That will do us, everybody. Please go and have a fantastic long weekend if you get a chance to do so. Spend some time with the family, recuperate. Be back here for Tuesday for the Gaz Evans giveaway. Be back here on Wednesday for the Leap Year giveaway. And be back here on Friday at 1 p.m. for the launch of our brand new show. And there we are. Happy Easter to all of you, and thanks again for everything to you, Mark, and to my men, Fred, Ed, and Steve. Fred, Ed, and Steve sounds like the name of a really obscure band, doesn't it? But yeah, there you are. And just to throw that one up again, there you go. HTTPS app.plantworks.co.uk. Not sure why the app is in there, but if that's what it takes to get it done, not a problem at all. Have a fantastic long weekend. You too, Tony. Thank you very much indeed for being here. There we are. It's a web app, says Luke Carney. That would make perfect sense. So, easy answer, I guess. Just type app.plantworks.co.uk. I'm sure your browser will do the rest. But make sure you do register, and if you do register, make sure you go. If you go, make sure you come and find me, Lou, Peter, Nick, Uncle Tom Cobley and all. But must go and pay a visit to Gaz Evans at Gem Attachments and look on in awe at his handiwork. Everybody, enjoy yourselves. Have a great weekend. Don't eat too much chocolate because I'm not allowed to. Why should you enjoy yourself? Until I see you again, all the very best.